Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to Kerber Rose's Tax Incentives for Manufacturers presentation. We're excited you could all be here today to learn more about our services and the tax incentives available to the manufacturing industry. My name is Michael Matushak, a Kerber Rose shareholder, and I've been with the firm for about 5 years and specializing in the manufacturing industry. Today, we'll be discussing tax incentives for manufacturers and the services our firm can provide to add value to your organization. Without further ado, let's begin the presentation. As I had mentioned, my name is Michael Matushak. My email address is there, michael.matushak@kerberrose.com. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions related to manufacturing and taxes. And our website is also there. So our manufacturing team consists of multiple members of Kerber Rose throughout our organization. We're located in Wausau, Green Bay, Fox Cities, Oshkosh, Anago, Rhinelander, and Clintonville. I'll just quickly go through the list of individuals. There's myself from our Wausau office. Katie Gannon is from our Green Bay office. Eric Bennell from our Anago office. Brian Lang from our Clintonville office. Brian Wild from our Anago office, Deanne Fabel from our Fox Cities office, Melanie Stelmacher from our Oshkosh office, Chris Olson from our Wausau office, Samantha Wilson from our Green Bay office, Bill Schultz from our Green Bay office, and Chris Lex from our Wausau office. All of these people are experienced in manufacturing and can help you with any questions you may have. Our goals as a manufacturing team is to provide high-level trusted advisor services to our manufacturing clients. We work with our clients to help them achieve regulatory and tax compliance, as well as providing additional services to help improve all aspects of their organizational and financial performance, ensuring that our clients receive the insight and advice which will empower them to successfully meet market demands. We try to be there for our clients in any aspect that they need us, and have the resources and the references available to get them the answers that they need quickly. We're also active members of the community and volunteer our time to multiple organizations related to the manufacturing industry. Specifically, we are on the board for the Central Wisconsin Manufacturers Alliance and are very involved in the Northeast Wisconsin Manufacturers Alliance in Wisconsin. Who we serve? We serve closely held and family-owned manufacturing businesses in any sector or industry within the manufacturing world. Typically, our clients are doing between $1 million and $50 million a year in annual revenue. We can certainly handle clients that are doing more than that, but we found that that's a really nice niche for us. Also, those clients tend to have between 10 and 500 employees. And our clients tend to be looking for those high level and proactive tax and accounting services and advice, not necessarily just a cookie cutter tax return, more of us looking at taxes and tax incentives as a puzzle and just trying to maximize the financial performance of our clients. So these are some of the trusted advisor services that we offer. Payroll processing, which would include HR consulting and onboarding services if our client is interested. With the manufacturing sector, we are able to many times link into your ERP software and be able to pull the data that we need to process the payroll timely. We also obviously offer direct deposit, virtual pay stubs, anything that your large national providers will be providing, we have the capability to do with a personal touch. We do have a designated payroll team within Kerber Rose that does nothing but payroll and are true experts in that area. We also are able to provide business valuations for those entities that are either merging or being acquired or doing the acquiring. We also are able to help in the transition to the next generation for family-owned businesses, determining what that value should be, whether it's going to be purchased from the next generation or gifted. Also, we help along the same lines in the succession and the strategic planning realm, helping clients determine who their next generation leaders are, how to get them to be ready to take on that role, and how to have the existing ownership transition into retirement. Also help clients with economic development grants. These are many times through the state of Wisconsin and linked to an entity's labor force. So in order to qualify for these, the key is really that you have to increase your full-time equivalent employees through these grants. The next one would be Nexus Studies. That is the study of just determining which states you need to be filing in. From a tax perspective, every state has different rules as to what creates nexus. Some it can be as small as simply driving through that state with your product. So we want to determine which states you have liability in, and then make a determination whether or not you feel it makes sense to file in those states, or to basically let the state find you. Then we also are able to help with retirement plans and 401k administration services. We do have a separate wealth management division and a very strong 401k division that allows our clients to be trustees of those 401ks and to make sure that they are fulfilling their fiduciary responsibility in those plans, while also providing some additional benefits to employees to help with retention. Lastly, technology support. We have an IT division that is able to provide managed services, which essentially means that they are your remote IT division. They are able to provide help desk and on-the-spot IT help whenever you need it. Some services we provide specific to the manufacturing industry would be controller services. Not all of our clients want to hire a full-time controller and take on that cost. So we're able to come in a couple times a month, close out their books on a monthly basis, help with the optimization of their ERP software, just provide some of those higher level financial analytic type services that help a client continue to grow without having to have the cost of a full-time person they may not be able to keep busy. We do cost segregation studies related to any new building additions that are done in manufacturing facilities. The purpose of those is to accelerate depreciation and maximize tax savings in the short term for our clients. Our IT division can also help with ERP software implementation and support. And then from a tax credit standpoint, we do provide research and development tax credit analysis, work opportunity tax credit analysis, WPS Manufacturing Utility sales tax exemption studies and analysis, which we will talk about a little bit more in the coming slides, all three of those. And we also help new manufacturers make sure that they get classified properly with the state and submit the required application to make it so that way they are eligible for the Wisconsin manufacturing tax credit and the personal property tax exemption related to their manufacturing equipment. So let's talk a little bit about the tax credits available to manufacturers. The most impactful tax credit for manufacturers tends to be the research and development tax credit. Our manufacturing team alone generates over $1 million a year in annual tax savings for our clients with this tax credit. It can obviously be substantial if the manufacturer is doing specialized or custom work for their customers. If a manufacturer is producing the same product over and over repetitively, there's not much setup time. It's just the same piece being produced over and over. There's probably not a ton of opportunity with the research and development credit, but if you're producing those one-off pieces or there's engineering time going into the products that you're providing, then there probably is an opportunity for a research and development tax credit. So a couple examples would be a specialty window manufacturer requiring engineering work on each project, or a machine shop that's producing one-time parts for various customers, and there's lots of setup time and R&D in determining the best way to make that part, or if it's even possible. All of that time is going to be eligible for the research and development tax credit. We partner with the following third-party resources just to make sure that the tax credit is being calculated properly, and then they also provide audit support just in case the IRS would ever question it. Those entities that we work with are Tri-Merit, Source HOV, and Alliant Group. And all of those entities specialize in the manufacturing or the research and development tax credit. So they're certainly experts in that field. The next tax credit I wanted to touch base on was the work opportunity tax credit. That's available to people that are hiring certain targeted groups of individuals. That would be veterans, ex-felons, low-income individuals, and government program recipients such as welfare and things like that. A lot of times in the manufacturing industry, they will be hiring, for the most part, it tends to be veterans or ex-felons. Certainly the other ones can come into play, but typically the manufacturing positions are paying well enough that they no longer qualify for the low-income type incentives. This is really prevalent, truthfully, in the restaurant industry, but we do have manufacturers that also take advantage of this. The potential tax credits up to 25% of an employee's first year wages. In order to get the employee qualified, a Form 8850 needs to be completed by the employee, and the Wisconsin agency must also provide documentation certifying that the employee qualifies for the program, and that needs to be attached to the tax return as proof with the IRS. Typically, if a company is using the work opportunity tax credit, they are using a third party to gather that information from their new hires from a confidentiality standpoint. Most new hires aren't really looking to let their employers know they're possibly on welfare or other government programs, so that it's really more of an HR function than it is a tax function. So we can certainly help you in gathering that information. The Wisconsin Manufacturing Tax Credit is a very valuable credit that essentially makes any manufacturing income in Wisconsin tax exempt because there is a 7.5% tax credit related to that income. It can also be passed down to the shareholder or partner level for pass-through entities such as S-corps or partnerships, so that the individuals, owners of those entities, also get to reap the benefits of the tax credit. And it's a non-refundable tax credit that can be carried forward to future years. So that way, if it's a pass-through entity and the individual had some other income sources that made it so that way the tax credit wasn't fully utilized in the current year, it will carry forward to future years. So it's not a use it or lose it in the current year. Then I wanted to talk about the Wisconsin Manufacturing Property Tax Exemption. This is eligible for equipment and other personal property used in the manufacturing process that is exempt from the personal property tax that I had mentioned previously. In order to be eligible for this, you do have to be classified as a manufacturer with the state of Wisconsin. A Form PA 780 needs to be filled out and provided to the state for them to make that determination. We can certainly help clients do that. And then annually, they'll need to file a Form MP by March 1st, which lists all of their personal property and equipment and designates which equipment is used in the manufacturing process that would qualify for that exemption. The manufacturing sales tax exemption is also prevalent in this industry. Manufacturers are eligible for the sales tax exemption for utility costs related to the manufacturing process. So an analysis needs to be done and submitted to Wisconsin Public Service for the percentage of your utility costs that are related directly to your manufacturing process. The easiest way to do this is likely to have a separate meter for your equipment. This isn't always realistic though. So in those cases, we would need to do an analysis and determine how much of your total utility bill is allocated to the manufacturing process. And once we've done that study, then we can submit the sales tax exemption forms to the state and get you that exemption on the manufacturing process usage. So just a couple questions for Kerber Rose that I would like you guys to think about. Are you taking advantage of the available tax credits offered, or are you leaving money on the table? I think there's a lot of times that clients may think that they are getting all of the tax credits that they should be, but you need to be asking the questions of your current tax preparers, making sure that they are up to date on these various tax credits, because I can tell you there are a significant number of manufacturers in Wisconsin that could be getting the research and development tax credit and are not at this point simply because they don't know to ask the question. So just something to think about. That just like the second question I have you ever inquired about the research and development tax credit before? Third, is your ERP software providing you the information you need to make informed decisions? So your ERP system is only as good as the information you can get out of it. So we really like to help our clients get that software set up properly so that way you can make informed decisions on your business to make it more profitable, whether that be margin analysis or job costing. There's lots of capabilities of that software. It just needs to be programmed properly. When was the last time you've reviewed your manufacturing sales tax exemption percentage if you already have that in place? A lot of times people set it once and forget about it until the state comes around and does a sales tax audit. One thing to look at is if you've changed your layout of your building, or you've upgraded lighting, for example, the LED lighting. Some of those things will have factors on the percentages, and you always want to make sure that you're getting the highest exemption you can for that. Lastly, what areas of your business are bogging you down and preventing you from operating your business and focusing on profitability? At Kerber Rose, we really try to help our clients focus on the areas that they are experts in, so they can run their business rather than worry about the behind the scenes things that bog them down and tend to hinder their ability to be profitable and to grow their business. So just something to think about. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate you spending your time with Kerber Rose today. We will provide you with a recording of this webinar and the presentation slides. Should you still have more questions, our presenters and the rest of our Kerber Rose team are more than willing to provide guidance on this topic and many others. Please visit our COVID-19 resources page as well and check out the many helpful tools there are to understand how COVID-19 might impact you and your organization. Thank you again, and make it a great day.